Hello, I'm Michael Glass from michaelglass.com, where we focus on making informed decisions about our financial future. This is our forex technical analysis trading plan for the pound dollar, the euro dollar, and the dollar franc. Before we pull up our video, we always want to start off our disclosures. Any symbols you see today should not be inferred as a trading recommendation. No matter what form of investing you choose, stock, forex, futures, options, they all have a level of risk associated with them. You can lose all of your money. Any strategies we show today are for informational purposes only. Future results are not guaranteed. And finally, any investment decision you make is solely your own responsibility. Trade at your own risk. As we said, this is our forex technical analysis trading plan for the pound dollar, the euro dollar, and the dollar franc. In each video, we look at the prior session's price action to come up with key support and resistance price levels. We'll review the gold chart to come up with leading sentiment. We'll try to create a low volatility and sidebar watch list, and we have an education spotlight at the end. Please send your feedback and comments to contact@dmbfx.com, and let's head to the charts. As we look at this week in Forex, we're going to look forward to a couple of things as far as what's going to drive the market. First, how close is the Eurozone to falling off the cliff? This week we saw that the three-party system in Greece after the last election were unable to form a coalition government, and so they're going to go back to the polls again and have another vote. And of course we have the new socialist president of France talking about that they want to get into stimulus. So whether or not the stability of the Eurozone is going to withstand another country, say Spain for example, needing the same type of stimulus, could send it over the cliff. And keep in mind that we have the G8 summit going on, and perhaps we'll see Germany, who's been one of the most strongest as far as saying that these countries have to stick to austerity. Maybe they'll soften her stance just a little bit. Now, what about the U.S.? As the Eurozone is showing some weakness, the dollar has seen some strength. We were retesting some of the 2012 highs. But keep in mind, the minutes of the last FOMC minutes showed that the option of easing is still on the table. And of course, that would weaken the dollar a little bit. So it'll be interesting to see if we're going to break out into new highs. We'll take a look at that in a moment. What about the Bank of Japan? This week, we expect to see that the bank is going to hold on to its current policy, and that it's too soon to expand the bond buys, their portfolio, to getting the expansion there. And finally, what about easing in England? And of course, we saw that the pound was one of the weakest performers last week. And what we're seeing is a battle between inflation and stimulus. Inflation is rising, and so it's getting more expensive to buy things, food and oil and things like that. But at the same time, they need stimulus to get the economy going. So which side is going to win out in that battle? So we're going to start by looking at that relationship of the big three market sentiments: dollar, gold, crude oil. And you can see the dollar is now trying to retest the 2012 highs of a little bit above 82. We went up to 82 and got a little pushback there. We'll see if this support can hold up here just above 81. And see if we'll continue to see that strength. You can see over here our point of control at 81.445. Definitely have some volume resistance right in here, but a little bit more support here at 80.746. So we'll see what happens here in that range. But look at that move on the dollar. Once we broke this little downtrend line, we certainly took off there. Again, strong dollar. Gold, a little bit weak, coming to test the 500 moving average. Zoom in a little bit here for you. Once we broke out of our 1660, 1600 price range, we kind of fell off. Did get a little push up here, but again, we'll see what was support should be resistance. So we'll see what happens here at 1600. Definitely sideways, maybe even sideways to down, although we do have 2 days up here. Finishing off with crude oil, again, breaking back down. Hopefully we'll get relief at the pump. Broke into our 102.96. You can see it tried its best to hold up 96, broken below that. So the next support is, I believe, let's zoom out. Oops. So the next area of support we have here is just at 90. Sideways are down on crude oil. Woo-hoo. Okay, so we're going to pull up the charts here. We're looking at the euro dollar here. On this side over here, we're looking at the daily chart. And what we basically can see is that once we broke 1.3, and we talked about this in some of our previous videos, once we broke that price level, we said it was there was a high probability that we were going to go ahead and test the January lows, and that's exactly what we have done. So now the question is, will we start to see some support here? And you can see initially we are. Sort of have a very small inside bar there on the euro dollar, if you see it ever so slightly. And so for our aggressive traders, if we can get above 1.27, that might see a mini short-term change in the direction of the trend, but of course long-term we certainly are in a downtrend. And as we come over to our 1 hour time frame, we can see we really broke up higher, and we've been trending towards the end of the day there. So a lot of strength to the upside. We have defended the 1.26 level, our January lows, but again, we have to keep in mind we are on a downtrend. What about the pound dollar? Zoom in a little bit for us over here. Kind of the opposite. We're seeing on the 1 hour, we're seeing some down movement here. And as we come over here to the daily, we can also see ever so slightly there is a little inside bar there. And so we're looking at what was once resistance here, hold up a support in here, resistance over here, support in here. And this week we're seeing 1.58 holding up as support again. What's going to happen? Well, remember we talked about a couple of things. We talked about the Bank of England decision. We talked about the pound being weak, and you can see that right here. So this will be the key. We also have the 200 moving average here. Will we hold up as support? If we break here, you can see the next level here is about 1.565. As you can see, all of these wicks right in here. So if we break through here, that's our target. Finally, looking at the dollar franc. And we'll zoom. See what's going on there, and come over to our daily. Zoom. And let me zoom out a little bit first, and you can see how we found our support at 0.91, and now we're making our way back up to some of our 2012 highs and pulling back a little bit off of that. So dollar showing strength as we talked about, the dollar hitting 2012 highs. Here we are in the dollar franc hitting 2012, trying to retest them below it. So we certainly are a little bit overbought there, but there's definitely strength there. Our trend is up. On a 1 hour time frame, you can see the pullback that we had on the Friday. What's key here is that on the intraday, we should have had support around 9.4. We didn't find that. We did break below that, and so we may see us channel back down. Again, we want to see what happens around 9.2 to see if that holds up support. So if we break 9.4, we want to watch 9.2. As we approach our watch list for today, we're starting off with our low volatility watch list, which is our 1 hour time frame using Bollinger Bands, seeing what is consolidating. And right now we're going to be watching some yen pairs, the euro yen and the pound yen. For the inside bar watch list, looking at today's range, Friday's range, comparing it to Thursday, and we don't have anything. Our education spotlight is talking about the difficulties some traders have with following rules. If it's as simple as having a signal, having a strategy, having an indicator, everybody will be rich. But we know everybody's not rich because of that emotional battle, that trader's mindset to be disciplined and focused to follow those rules. It's what separates winning traders and losing traders. Well, what are some reasons why it is difficult for some traders to follow those rules? Well, first and foremost, it's that internal conflict of being right versus making money. Sometimes the golden rule of trading, cut your losses and let your winners run, has to come into play. It's not about being right, it's about following your system. And sometimes the system will give you a cost of doing business by having a loss. Doesn't mean you're wrong, doesn't mean the system is wrong, it's just the cost of doing business. What about the unacknowledged unacknowledged emotions which distort your perception? How many times have you got out of a trade, have you looked back at your chart and you realize I should have been out of that a long time ago? But your emotional conflict of looking at the charts based upon wanting to be right distorts what you see, and you get in a tick-by-tick battle. Finally, exposure to ambiguous data. I used to always say with new teachers, funnel in, funnel out. You're going to be presented with so much paperwork and so much stuff. You've got to know what to take in and what to just let go through you and pay no attention to. Same thing in trading. There's so much data out there. There's so many indicators out there. So many systems. So much out there that you can get into analysis paralysis. And you have to know how to funnel in and funnel out. What's important to watch? What should you just pass on to the next person? As always, we want you to comment, subscribe, and let us know what you like. You know about the majority of our resources. We got our trading course for you. We got our mentorship, and we have our managed forex accounts. And if you're looking for signals, we have that too. But keep in mind, the important thing is that trader's mindset, the ability to follow your system, the ability to empower someone to manage your system, whatever it may be. You need to have that trader's mindset, and that's what we do here at Move Up a Mic. We give you the tools that you need, the psychological capital that you need to follow and implement your system on a day-to-day basis. Thanks, guys, and I'll see you next time.